23rd today, in the gym, sort of day after the recovery day, after nights that I normally have. And because I'm working out every day, I usually get that, yesterday's workout, I get it done at between 2 and 4 in the morning when I'm on my break at work. So then I could come home after work, or get home about 8 o'clock in the morning, sleep till about 1:30 in the afternoon, and then I'll usually book something for myself, whether it be go to the shops or in this case go to a sauna, and have sort of a set time that I have to be there, so it gets me up out of bed, and so I don't have to have an excuse where I can just sleep in and wreck my sleep cycle for the week by not waking up at midday. So yesterday I had the sauna, went to the shops, did some housework, and the sauna session and a bit of stretching in the sauna was my recovery. So sort of wake up after about 4 hours of pretty terrible sleep. If anyone's worked night shifts, you'll understand that you get some weird ass dreams after night shifts and hallucinate, lucid dream and all that stuff. So 4 hours of a bit of lucid dreaming, get up, have a sauna, stretch in the sauna, recover. Came back today feeling as refreshed as one could be, after doing, 8 night shifts in the last 12 or 13 days, I think, pretty much, which is abnormal for me. So it was a bit of a challenge for me just getting up mentally to come to the gym, but wasn't too hard of a challenge in that I really wanted to go to the gym. I haven't lifted any heavy weight for 4 or 5 days now. Oh no, that's a lie. I did the deadlifts maybe 4 days ago. So about 3 or 4 days ago I haven't lifted any heavy weight. And I wanted to come in and I was like, wanted to recreate my last deadlift session, because that felt so good. I hit 140 with 140 kilos with the trap bar deadlift. I was feeling really strong. My hamstrings all on my night shifts were sore from those RDLs and smashing all those RDLs and that sort of snatch grip deadlifts that I was doing, and I was like, yeah, let's recreate it. And then I got to the barbell, and I was looking at the legs in the mirror, and I was like, oh, the legs are looking good, they must be feeling good. Let's just work out a couple squats, see how we feel. And the squats felt fantastic. I feel good in my movement. Obviously, like I'm always mention, I warm up for a good 10-20 minutes. Do a lot of stretching that at home before I ride my bike to the gym. 5-minute ride of the bike to the gym. So I get to the gym and I'm already pretty warm, so I can get to work pretty easily. So I did 60 kilos for 10 reps, which will be my thing now. I'll do the 10 reps for 60 kilos just to get a bit more endurance at the 5, and I go straight to 80 kilos, and I do 3 sets of 5 reps with 80 kilos on the back, and then I do 1 set of 60 kilos, 10 reps with 60 kilos at the end of that, just to make sure that I'm doing 5 sets. So I do 2 sets of 10 reps and then 3 sets of 5 reps with heavier weight. And the squat felt good in the motion of getting my ass as low as possible whilst keeping my back straight and not falling over my front, and having all 3 touch points of my foot in contact with the ground at all time. That all felt good. Quads felt a little bit fatigued when hitting the 80 kilos for the first time. I think the first set there was a lot of deep breathing going on. There's a lot of almost pausing mid squat in my weak point, just trying to get the bar up, but felt good. I'm glad I did it. I'm probably going to order some stretching bands or a few things online, because I've seen a few good exercises to work my hip flexors and things like that, which is where I'm probably lacking a lot. I think the general consensus with most people is we all have weak glutes and we all have weak hip flexors because we don't do enough with them. So I'm going to order some sort of stretching bands online, and I'm going to do a few exercises with them to engage my hip flexors a little bit more, and hopefully that will improve sort of this middle phase of my squat, which seems to be the weak part at the moment. So that was good. Went into some rack pulls to sort of warm up. I was like, oh look, I'll do my snatch deadlift today. Someone else was using the trap bar, and I was like, yeah look, that's fine. I can go with these snatch bar deadlifts and see how I feel. Or snatch grip deadlifts, sorry, and see how I feel. So I thought I'll warm up with some rack pulls. I'll do a set of RDLs beforehand, pretty much, you know, gearing up to what I did last week. I did RDLs, and then I did the snatch grip pulls, and I felt really good. So I was like, I'll do some rack pulls, some of them rack pulls in a while, and just hit a heavy weight. So I worked my way up to 120 kilos, did a couple reps with 120 kilos before I misplaced the bar, and you know, I was like, look, that's enough, I'll just get into my work. But I decided to do, you know, like a few reps, I think up to 3 reps I did with 100 kilos for the rack pulls, and then I did 2 reps at 120 kilos before the bar fell off. And then I got into my work, and it felt good. It felt like a really good warm-up. Like, this was like a good CNS warm-up where it's like, alright, now we're getting to the business end. You can prime your body, prime your CNS for some heavier lifting, prime those accessory muscles as well, get everything working. I work to engage my lats, my lower back, bracing my core, all that sort of jazz. Before I put myself in a bit more of a vulnerable position with these snatch grip deadlifts, because, you know, as I've mentioned before, I'm not super confident in deadlifting your traditional barbell off the floor, hence why I've been using a trap bar for so long. Anyway, I got up to 120 kilos with this, and just set of 6 or 7 RDLs with 60 kilos on it, just to make sure everything was engaged. After I do this, I'll work my way up, so I do a set with 60 kilos with this snatch grip deadlift, and then I'll do work sets of 5 with the 80 kilos, and then my phone cuts out. I got a call, I had my AirPods in, I got a call, and I didn't pick up the phone because I was like, oh, I'm at the gym, I'll call them back later, and it must have switched my camera off on my phone. I didn't go back and check it at all after I put it back down, so it just stopped filming. But essentially all it missed at the very end was one set of 5 at 80 kilos, and then one set of 4 at 100 kilos. Previously I'd only done 1 rep or 2 reps at maybe only 1 rep at 100 kilos with this sort of, with your conventional barbell deadlift. And I was like, feeling good, feeling strong, let's just see if I can bang out like a couple reps. I did a couple reps and I was like, I could keep going with this. Let's do 3. So 1 more rep, still more in the tank, I can do 1 more. Did 4, and then I was like, hit 4, and I was like, okay, that's enough. I sort of started to strain my right lat a little bit on it, funnily enough. So I was like, ooh, that's a bit of a funny feeling, I think that's enough. And I finished the workout there feeling well accomplished with the squat. Again, you know, with the squat it's just about getting used to the 80 kilos on my back and working through those weaker phases. I want to get my reppage up with 60 kilos whilst I'm getting, you know, so whilst I'm getting more consistently used to the 80 kilos. Once I get used to the 80 kilos and maybe are able to rep that quite comfortably at 5, or up the reps maybe to 10 with that, and then as I move on to 90 kilos, 100 kilos, etc. But I feel like there's a bit of a need to rush sometimes, and we all have access to the internet. We can all watch videos of, you know, whatever we want, whenever we want, and I've been watching a lot of Klokov again, and just like marveling at, you know, his strength, his technique, and his flexibility, and, you know, the athlete that he is. And I'm thinking, oh, you know, I'd love to get there. You know, why can't I just lift? You know, why can't I just deadlift 150 kilos, or why can't I just snatch, you know, 120 kilos, or 100, or even 100 kilos? Mate, I probably couldn't even snatch bloody 40 kilos in the moment, but like, why can't I just get there straight away? And, you know, your mind just jumps to, oh, you know, let's, you know, you'll do that. You'll put in a little bit of time, you'll do a few lifts, and you'll get there without, I think, fully comprehending that, you know, by this stage in this video, I think Klokov's in his 30s, or maybe mid-30s. He'd been lifting for 20 years. By the time he got up to that point, and I've only been doing these exercises for maybe 6 months, maybe a year. I may have been deadlifting for a year, but I'd probably not even yet. So it's always a long way to go. There's always a lot of emphasis on improvement, and I think I have to constantly remind myself to take things slower and not get caught up with not being able to be the strongest and lift the heaviest weights that I want to lift. And you know, it's almost getting to a stage of where you're comparing yourself to the person next to you working out at the gym. The person, you know, who's working out next to you might be, you know, roided to high heavens and is, you know, squatting 2 or 3 plates easy, is deadlifting 200 kilos easy. But you know, these people have their own advantages, and you know, these people may have been training for 10 years longer than I have. So it's about putting everything in perspective and just making sure I'm not overdoing it to a point where I'm getting injured, but making sure that I need to remind myself that progress is something that, especially with strength training, is not rushed. You cannot rush it. You have physical limitations to this that you must, you know, work against and slowly break down. You know, you're slowly breaking down the muscle, you're slowly building your mind-muscle connection, you're slowly getting stronger. And I think there's an idea in the fitness industry that, you know, to be fit you have to be huge, you have to be swole, but you know, you have to be lifting all these heavy weights, with this false adage that everyone who advertises all this strength and all this stuff is natural, when, you know, a huge amount of people are taking steroids and doing cycles and, you know, stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of things to compare to, and when you're looking at yourself and you're looking, man, why am I not getting these gains? I've been doing this for, you know, my deadlift hasn't gone up for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, or my squat hasn't gone up for 3 or 4 weeks. And it's like, why is this happening? And I think you have to remember that it's a normal part of lifting in general, being natural as a lifter, being natural, you know, being a natural athlete, going to the gym. You have plateaus that you need to work through, the training ruts you need to work through, you know, etc., etc. And that's where I sort of am at the moment. I'm just trying to find different ways of improving the deadlift, you know, trying to translate it to the squats, things like that. So that was sort of on my mind today, but I'll leave it at that. I just a little short. My phone cut out. Couldn't film the rest of it, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. So cheers, thank you very much. See you in the next one.